What's up, you guys? Jedi Master Josh here, and today we have the brand new booster box from Pokemon. It is Journey Together. Journey Together just came out on Friday, March 28th, and you were able to purchase booster boxes and ETBs as early as Monday of this previous week if you went to any game stores that were hosting pre-release events or anything like that. Now, the interesting thing about this set that a lot of people are already talking about, but is very cool, but it's also very weird, is that they are now selling these as enhanced booster boxes. So my question about this is, are they all going to be enhanced booster boxes? Are we going to see enhanced booster boxes for the whole length of printing for Journey Together, or is it just like the first print wave, or what? And that's kind of the question that I have going into this. I was really excited to be able to pick up one of these boxes because I love box toppers and promos and things like that, and seeing the promo that comes in this made me really excited, made me really want it. Now, this box was selling on the market for way too much money. It started off at like almost $300 or something like that. It was really close to $300, like $290 or something. The prices are already coming down significantly and pretty quickly as well. So Journey Together booster boxes, you guys really shouldn't be paying more than MSRP for any of this stuff when it's brand new, plain and simple. If you see somebody trying to sell booster boxes for an outrageous price, just don't buy them. It's really simple. Just don't buy them. Make them sit on them. Most of these people, they can't sit on product for a long period of time because, they bought all this product on a credit card or something like that, and so it's going to be only a short amount of time before they need to start paying back the credit companies and all that, and then they're going to have to start getting rid of all the product that they have at cost, or even sometimes less than cost, just to be able to make their money back. So don't buy from the scalpers. Don't buy from the third-party market unless you can get a reasonable deal. I paid $189 for this booster box, which I think was fairly reasonable, especially since it came directly from my LGS, which has a limit of one item per customer right now, one per item, so you could have one of each item if you wanted to. And I think that's a great thing. There's all these people in the scalping market right now that when they hear people say stuff like that, they get all mad and angry. They hear that Destined Rivals has like a massive print quantity already. Allocations for Destined Rivals are pretty huge already. So just wait. All you have to do is be patient. It's really all you have to do is be patient. Don't jump on the first thing you see. Don't jump on the stuff that everyone else is chasing, and you'll be fine. There's plenty of things to collect in this hobby. But let's go ahead and dig into this. We're gonna pop this booster box. I haven't opened it all the way yet because I'm like, oh, I see it. I see the box stopper. Okay, all right. We're in now. We're in. All right. Let's put the booster box in its display orientation like you would see at the store back when you were a kid. Man, I remember being a kid and walking into like 7-Eleven and stuff like that, picking like base set 2-packs off the shelf. That stuff was crazy. We've got ourselves Journey Together stamped Ends Reshiram box topper. This is really, really nice. I love promos. I'm a huge fan of promos. This one has some print lines on it, but that's okay. We're going to take that. I don't really grade or anything. This is going to go straight into a collection for me. I keep all of my sealed promos like this all in, in their own spot, So all my sealed promos go together, and this is going to be one of them to go next to. I love this, though. This is great. Ends Reshiram. This illustration rare already, probably one of the better illustration rares from the set. There are lots of great illustration rares in the set, don't get me wrong. But this one, very fantastic. I love the artwork on this. The artist here, we've got Boon Tuyo. Okay, don't crucify me for that one. I hope that was at least close, but let me know in the comments. But yeah, Reshiram here with the powerful rage and the virtuous flame. Journey Together stamp box topper, pretty awesome. We can go ahead and we'll stand this up in the background just as like a little hangout piece for us for the day. Can you hold on to that for us, Gengar and Pikachu? Yeah, thank you. All right, cool. So it's up there in the pull pool, and let's just dig right in. We got 36 packs to dig through, so I'm going to do a lot of yapping, but while I'm yapping, we'll open these packs as well. I've done a few openings of Journey Together already, had some pre-release openings, done some Battle Partners openings, Battle Partners being the Japanese version of this set, and that's another thing to think about too. Anybody that's, thinking they need to go crazy and spend a ton of money on this, it's a small set. It's only made up of one Japanese set and some promo like battle decks and other promos from Japan. So realistically, in English, this is a really small set. And we get 10 cards per pack, and they only get 5 cards per pack over in Japan. I think people are going to wind up getting a lot of the cards that they want and need really quickly, really easily, and the value of the sealed product on this is going to drop, quite a bit. I don't know if it'll be like, well under MSRP at any point in time, but I do have a feeling it might drop below MSRP, and we saw that in previous years. I've been mentioning this a lot in previous videos. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that stuff. Check out previous videos. We talk a lot about this stuff in the past. This has happened before. It will happen again. It's going to happen again in the future. This 100% will happen again. I guarantee you that. Now, I would have to say that if I were to make a prediction, the next time it'll happen will probably be around the 30-year anniversary. We're already at the 29-year anniversary, so the 30-year anniversary is coming up later this year, at the beginning of next year. Pretty crazy stuff, and I can imagine seeing, maybe a little bit of, we're on the 28-year anniversary, excuse me. Okay, so we have a little bit of time. We got a little bit of time. I imagine that, the market will probably die down a little bit, and then we'll get a bunch of hype about the 30th anniversary set, 30th anniversary Pokemon, blah, 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 yada, yada, and then things will kind of explode again a little bit. But it's kind of the same thing that happened during the craze of Shining Fates, Vivid Voltage, and Celebrations. Now, there was an additional outlier to that, and that would be the content creators and a global pandemic. Those things really they really heightened the bubble there, the bubble that was going on there, and I'm not afraid to call it a bubble because I watched cards that, Rainbow Rare Pikachu VMAX is one of my favorite cards from, Sword and Shield era, and it was like $300, $350, something like that during release, and for months and ooh, there we go. We got ourselves the Ends Reshiram illustration rare to go with the Ends Reshiram illustration rare box topper that we got. Awesome. And then a little Lily's Ribombee to go there. That was like a little tongue twister. That was not very good. Okay, but whatever. As I was saying, the Pikachu VMAX Rainbow Rare, it was like $300 to $350 when I pulled it. When I finally pulled one for myself, it was about $300, $350. This is over $250 at least. And nowadays you can get it for about $160, and it was only a year ago I bought a couple more of them at right around $100 flat. So this kind of stuff happens. There's a wane and there's a wax, and you're going to go in and you're going to go out. We got ourselves a Mamoswine EX. Not too bad. Little hit for the box. But yeah, it's a big swinging market. That's why they call it volatile and so on and so forth. Collectibles are extremely volatile, and that's exactly what these are. They're collectibles. They're commodities. They're not necessary. If something were to happen to the world and, things went really bad for everyone, then, Pokemon cards would be worth nothing again. So, just kind of take that with a grain of salt and, invest your money wisely. It's your money. It's hard-earned money. If you decide you want to buy a box of Journey Together for $300, don't let anyone stop you. But at the same time, just know that you can do better for yourself. You really can. We got Piloswine and we got a Tyranitar. All right, let's get into these cards a little bit more. I just wanted to get that out, like a little public service announcement kind of thing, just really don't want to see anybody out there hurting themselves over something that is, one, you don't need this. You just simply don't need these cards. I don't need these cards, but I'm lucky enough to have the opportunity to be able to collect, because this is my hobby. This is something I've done for a very long time, and it's not going to stop me that the market is, changing and getting crazy. I'm just adapting. So I have to adapt, and for all the new people getting into the market and getting into the hobby, they haven't seen some of this stuff before, and it's hard for them to be able to adapt right off the rip. And so if you guys are people, collectors in the hobby, have been around in the hobby for a while, just make sure you're helping out your fellow collectors out there. Everyone everyone deserves to have their opportunity at some fun, right? And right now the market's not very fun for a lot of people, but it's okay. We're gonna get into let's have some fun. Let's change it up. Let's have some fun. We got some cards to open here. We're gonna talk about some of them. We're gonna look at some of them. We're gonna hopefully pull something good. We got ourselves a Whalmer. Now I've pulled a couple of the illustration Whale Lords already, and love that card. So I'll take as many of those as this set wants to give to me. We got Sentret, we got Parasect, and an Iono's Kilowattrel. Now this is interesting. I actually believe this card will be played, and it will probably be played outside of Iono decks as well, because you must discard a basic Lightning Energy card from this Pokemon in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. That's pretty good, if you ask me. Now, Iono's Belly Bolt, if I'm not mistaken, allows you to just attach energies and stuff, or does something with energies. So, like, you start moving those around, and then you also work out something with, like, say, Miraidon and Iron Hands and so on and so forth. You could really create a very dangerous situation for your opponent with some of these new cards. It's pretty awesome. But all right, let's go ahead and dig in. We're kind of, I'm not really picking out of one side. I'm kind of alternating back and forth, so I won't know if the left side or the right side was more heavy. But if anybody is really paying attention to that, I just want that person to know that's watching right now, that's paying attention to that. It doesn't matter. It's random. It's completely random. The seeding is random. You don't get any kind of guarantees. Like an SIR is not guaranteed. The only thing I can tell you that is guaranteed is a Volcanion EX. That's guaranteed for this box right now. But okay, we're moving on. But yeah, so in each booster box, you're going to imagine to see somewhere between 11 and 14 hits overall. Hits being your EXs, full arts, illustration rares, so on and so forth. Anything better than just a normal holo rare. And it's pretty good. When you're talking about 36 packs, 13 or 14 opportunities to hit something real juicy is pretty nice. We got ourselves a Remoraid to start. I like that artwork. That's really cool. We got Carablast, Torchic, Lilligant, Oinkologne, Excelgor, Lily's Pearl. Now this is pretty good too. So if the Lily's Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an attack, then your opponent takes 1 less prize card. Now the thing about a lot of Lily's Pokemon is there's a lot of them that are only 1 prize. So you throw this on there and your opponent takes a knockout, takes no prizes, basically wasting their turn, wasting their attack. Pretty cool. But all right, we're moving into the next pack. Let's see something juicy. We're looking for something real juicy. Now the Reshiram is actually pretty juicy, I'm not gonna lie. The Reshiram to go along with the box topper Reshiram. I mean, I'll take it. I like it. I'm down. So let's go ahead and move into these next packs and see if we can keep up the heat, right? We want to keep the heat up. Okay, we got Professor's Research, Professor Sada. This is a reprint, so Professor Sada already had a Professor's Research card. It was a little bit different than this, and it was a rare. So it was a holo rare in Sword and Shield, in Scarlet and Violet base set. Man, am I, yeah, so the past few months have been a little bit difficult for me. We're going into standard rotation for the trading card game. So everything that I have played for the past almost 3 years is now rotating out of the standard format. And I keep talking about Sword and Shield so much that it just seems to be like something I accidentally say a lot now. But I meant to say Scarlet and Violet, but I said Sword and Shield. It happens. All right, we're moving into our next pack. But yeah, anybody that plays the TCG, just keep an eye on that. If you guys are playing the TCG, standard rotation happens on April 11th. Now, if you're new to the game, you probably don't have too much to worry about because a lot of, newer decks and stuff are already being built to adhere to the post-rotation rule sets and so on and so forth. And, yeah, so that's pretty cool. But if you're a player that has been playing for at least a decent amount of time or some amount of time and maybe you're not, keeping up as tightly as you could or something like that, I don't know, but just keep in mind that on April 11th, we got ourselves the Hops Zacian EX special illustration rare. How do you guys say it? Do you say Zacian, Zacian, Zacian? I don't know. I say Zacian, and I'll probably say it differently later on in the video too, but that is actually huge. Okay, we take that. I love this card too. This is great. Insta Strike and Brave Slash. There's current archetype running around with Hops Zacian and Archaludon. and then there's some Magneton, or not Magneton. What's the one that does the energy stuff? It's like a not Metagross, Metang. That's what it is, Metang. Metang and Zacian and Archaludon running around doing some bits. If you guys are familiar with Tricky Jim, he was doing a $1,000 and $3,000 tournament over this weekend, and the $3,000 tournament was a standard tournament, but it was post-rotation. And it was very interesting to see. The person who won it was a 13-year-old that was playing Terrabox. Showed up from like West Virginia or something like that, showed up with Terrabox and won $3,000 and left with his head held high. That's, congratulations to that young man. That's awesome. That is really cool. But all right, let's move on to our next pack. We got a special illustration rare. This box is a win. We got our box topper. We got our special illustration rare. The illustration rare that we have pulled so far, Ends Reshiram, is probably one of the better ones to pull. So, we take those. There's a code card for you guys. Throw that off to the side. Forget about that. Just let me know what you get from your code cards in the comments down below. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys want to see more openings, if you want to hear more about Pokemon, anything Pokemon related, just let me know. We can definitely work that out. I enjoy doing this. We got a Reshiram EX, not too bad. It's not an Ends Reshiram, but it is a Reshiram. We take that. We don't want to cover up the hop, right? I mean, we want that to be seen. All right, put these off to the side. But yeah, lots of fun to be had. The trading card game is absolutely booming. If you guys have never played the trading card game, I would highly, highly recommend giving it a try. Some people, they play the TCG Pocket, which is it's cool. It's fine. I like the idea of collecting the cards in TCG Pocket for free. I don't spend any money or anything on that because it's a giant waste of money. By the way, anybody that's watching, Pocket is a waste of money. Don't spend your money on Pocket. Okay, with that being said, if you're playing on Pocket, one thing you need to know is that it is nothing at all like playing the real trading card game. It can be very similar in some aspects and some mechanics, but there are a lot of things that are very, very, very different. So what I would recommend if you want to learn how to play the trading card game the correct way, again, Pocket's technically not the correct way, but if you wanted to learn how to play the trading card game correctly and have some fun, there's another client you can download on your phone. It's called the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. They give you decks, and that's actually what's on the back of here. That's what these code cards are for. And there's decks that they just give you. They give you them right as soon as you sign up and make an account and so on and so forth, and you can play them for free. You can play the whole game for free, in fact. The only time you're ever doing anything with the game is adding code cards. You can put code cards in to get more free. Ooh, we got ourselves Hops Wooloo. I love this. This is great. Hops Wooloo. I can't. This is a Hops box apparently, but yeah. This is great. This is great. A lot of people have kind of. I make fun of Hop. I'm not even gonna lie. I think Hop is goofy. I think it's kind of annoying the way that they portrayed his character to just be like the understudy of his big brother and then like a whiny little baby all the time. but at the same time, I actually like Hop. I think Hop is cool. It's really interesting that it's one of the first times that we see like our rival partner have and he's not quite our rival. He's more of our friend. It's weird. There's a whole lot of different stuff going on with Hop that I do like. I just wish they didn't make his character so much of a little crybaby, in this. It's so sad. It's like Kieran in Scarlet and Violet is, he's got some dynamic to him as well, but again, it's like that annoying little brother that you don't want coming with you to hang out with your friends, but your mom told you that you have to take your little brother to hang out with your friends. And so yeah, it's it's one of those things. Okay, so we got Durant. You know what, we're gonna say it. Durant. It's about drive, it's about power. Durant stays hungry, he devours. Anybody that has played the TCG for long enough should know what I'm talking about. All right, we got Ends Darmanitan, we got Low Kicks, Combuskin, Excelgor, Lombre, and we got a Magmortar. Not too bad. Magma Surge. During your opponent's checkup, put 3 more damage counters on your opponent's burned Pokemon. And that's pretty good. Burn already does 20 damage at checkup, I believe. So adding an extra 3, it's pretty dang good. It's counting down your turns at that point until all your burned Pokemon are knocked out. But as we all know, you switch, retreat, whatever. you lose that burn. Everything's okay. There's a code card for you guys. Let me know what you're getting from the code cards. All right. We got Iono's Wattrel to go with our Iono's Kilowattrel. Not too bad. Now, there is an Iono's Kilowattrel illustration rare. I'd be pretty happy to pull. It's a pretty awesome card. Looks really good. I like the art style on it as well. So we got Ends Joltik and an Alcremie EX. Not too bad. So once during your turn, you may heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. It is a stage 1. If it were a basic, I'd think that was potentially better. But, I mean, I guess you could, like, bench Milcery, evolve to Alcremie the next turn, heal the 30, and then Turo Scenario it back up. But that sounds like a lot of work for 30 damage to be healed, you know. And, you know, post-rotation, we don't have too many other ways of healing damage like that, or healing damage as easily without spending, like, an item card or something like that. But, you know, Switch Cart lets you switch and heals 30 damage. It's pretty busted. All right, let's go ahead and, but that's rotating. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Switch Cart. Rest in peace, Radiant Greninja. Rest in peace, Pokestop. Rest in peace, so many amazing cards. Hisuian Heavy Ball. You know, everything Lost Box. I don't even want to talk about Lost Box. Lost Box was my favorite archetype since the release of Lost Origin. I am a die-hard Lost Box fan. I've played so much Lost Box. I'm lost in the sauce at this point. You know, just plain and simple. We got Hop Silicobra, we got Fungus, we got Ensdar Manitan, Iris's Fighting Spirit. Not too tough to me. We got Tropius, we got Noivern, and we have a Volton Veluza. Shout out MNJ TV. Pretty awesome. All right, we got ourselves a pretty good pull pool going right here, and we still have plenty of packs to go. Now, we've only seen 2 illustration rares. Typically, you're going to see 3 or 4 in each of your boxes. So hopefully we see at least 2 more. The one special illustration rare is already, like, you know, we've already done it. We've done what we needed to do. We pulled an SIR. We can just move through this with you know, on the gravy boat now. We're on the gravy boat where we got Larvesta, Beldum, Octillery, Weezing, Ruffy, and the first reverse is an Enstar Manitan. That's not too bad. We take that. And then we get the Noibat illustration rare. Ask and you shall receive. Now that is pretty awesome. I do really love this artwork. This is one of the ones that I was definitely hoping to pull, but I wasn't like crazy about it because it's something that, you know, I could buy on the secondary market a little later. And like I said, if you guys just be patient, I imagine all of these cards will become significantly cheaper on the secondary market probably pretty soon. And it's probably going to be pretty quick, a lot quicker than anybody's really expecting. I've already heard scalpers complaining and whining about how allocations for Destined Rivals are too high and they're not going to make their money and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, good. Like, I can't wait for you to be crumbling under this toxicity that you've been putting into my hobby. You know, this is something I do for fun. Okay, I need to get over that. We're having fun. All right, we're moving into this next pack. We got Parasect, we got Pupitar, we got Alolan Geodude, Audino, Alolan Golem. That's a sick artwork. Look at that. That's so cool. All right, we got ourselves a Scavalier, we got Iono's Electrode, a Cloth, a Morgrim, and a Meowscarada. Not too bad. Showtime. All right. That was the name of the ability. All right. If you stuck around in the video, I'm going to explain it to you. The thing I was saying about Durant. Durant, it's about drive, it's about power. Durant stays hungry, he devours. Now, everyone knows that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is the one that he made like a song or something, and he was like, it's about drive, it's about power, we stay hungry, we devour, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, Durant has an attack that it has notoriously had for several generations now called Devour, and it's a milling attack. So Mildex kind of became a thing, and then Durant became the thing for Mildex. So Mill, Durant, Devours, that's the joke. Yeah, it's not funny, I know, but I thought it was funny. I kind of think it's funny. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments if you think it's funny. Don't leave me. All right, we're moving on to the next pack here. We got Lily and Clefairy on this pack. Ooh. Oh, wait. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Okay. Something. Yeah, I think this is an error. Okay, one second. We got a code card for you guys. Toss that off to the side. We're going to count the cards. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, this is definitely an error. Okay, we're counting these cards. All right, we got 1. We've got 2. We've got 3. We've got 4, Yeah, so no, we have an error pack here. Okay, so there's 5, 6, 7, and then the energy doesn't count. They say on the pack 10 additional game cards. The energy is the 11th. They don't actually count the energy. So 10 additional game cards, but we only got 7 or whatever. What was that? Even with the energy, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. So that's crazy. I can't believe we have that on video though. You guys watch me pull that right out of this box, and there we go. I'm gonna set this one aside because that's interesting. That is interesting. I don't know. I don't think Pokemon will do anything about that for me, but that would be pretty cool if I like sent them a message with this video clip and was like, "Hey, what's the big deal?" But I do also have a feeling we're gonna open one of these packs and there's gonna be too many cards in one of these packs. So if that happens, then I think we're kind of out of luck. All right, there's a code card for you guys right there. Let me know what you're getting from that one. Flew really nice. I like that one. Okay, we got Petilil, we got Minchino, Toadscool, Mr. Mime, Iris's Fighting Spirit, Octillery, Wheezing. The reverse is a Spiky Energy. That's actually really good. Spiky Energy seeing quite a bit of play in post-rotation decks because it's actually just really good. So as long as it's attached, it just provides a colorless energy, which is, it's just kind of whatever. But if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon, even if it gets knocked out. So that's pretty cool. Just take 2 damage counters and throw them right at your opponent just because they wanted to slap you around a little bit. We got ourselves Hop Snorlax with the extra helpings. I think this will come into play a little bit too. I think the Hops deck will be one of those decks that it'll do something and it'll probably see some play. I just don't know how good it will really be because there's good synergy, there's the extra damage output, all that stuff. It seems like it has a lot of key pieces going for it, but at the same time, I don't know. It's one of the things I think it's kind of lacking is energy acceleration. But I could be wrong about that. I could be overlooking something. We've got Wingull, we've got Swinub, we've got Shelmet, Super Potion. So there's one of those items we were talking about earlier. Hops Corviknight, Bayonet, a Reverse Lily's Pearl. We take those, absolutely. We've got an Ends Clink and a Magearna. Not too bad. Magearna with the Auto Heal ability. I actually haven't even read that ability yet, so I don't know what it does. But something about Magearna I've always kind of been a little bit... I just keep my distance, It's a strange creature. I don't understand it. Is it a robot? Is it a living being? I don't know. And are robots living beings? That's a question for AI, I guess. We'll leave that one. We'll leave that one alone. But we got ourselves a Minchino to start. Petilil, Piloswine, Cufant, Alolan Golem with that awesome artwork again. Brock Scouting. This has turned out to be pretty good too. I've seen actually quite a bit of play from this card. So to search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon or 1 evolution Pokemon, reveal them, put them in your hand, that's pretty good. This is basically like Battle VIP Pass in the form of a supporter. Battle VIP Pass was one of the most played cards in the Sword and Shield block, and there's a good reason for it. To be able to just take 2 basics out of your deck, especially on your first turn, because Battle VIP Pass could only be played on your first turn, but just finding 2 basics, any basics, doesn't matter if they have Robloxes, doesn't matter if they're EXs or Vs or anything like that, just 2 basics, throw them well, Battle VIP Pass, throw them right to the bench. That'll put them in your hand, which is actually, could potentially even be better. It's too bad that, rotation's going to happen, and we can't play these cards until rotation, because Brock Scouting could be used to grab out, like, Luminion, and then you could Luminous Sign for another supporter for your next turn, whatever you need to do. Pretty cool. But all right, we're moving into our next pack here. We're actually getting really close to the end of the box. We're already at 30 minutes for this video. All right, let's rip through a couple of these real quick so we can kind of get this over with. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. I do appreciate you being here, checking out the video. Make sure you leave a comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. If you don't want to like, if you don't want to subscribe, if you don't want to leave a comment, that's perfectly fine. I'm just happy you're here checking this out. I'm happy you're having fun. I'm hoping you're having fun. Wishing you the best of luck on all your pulls, on all your product searches, on anything, any endeavors that you have. Wishing you the best of luck. There's a code card. Let me know what you get from the code card. Hopefully it's a SIR Hops Zacian, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, we got Low Kicks. We got Combuskin. What's up with the grippers on Combuskin? I've seen this card a few times, and look at them dogs. They are barking. All right, get that out of the way. We got Alolan Golem, we got Metapod, we've got Lycanroc, and we've got a full art Dunsparce EX. Now, I have a friend, his name is Micknic, Micknic247, I think is his YouTube channel name. He just pulled this same card, so we're like twins now. But if you guys want to check out his channel, make sure you check that out. I'll try and link it in the description. Actually, yeah, we'll try and link it in the description, and hopefully you guys can show him some love. He's a pretty awesome dude, really cool guy, and he definitely deserves it. So let's go ahead and move on to our next pack. We're getting really close to the end of this box now. And, yeah, like I was saying, I'm going to try and kind of rip through these a little bit faster. But there's a code card for you guys. Toss that off to the side. We got Skwovet, Metang, Noibat, Rockruff, Virizion, Hops Choice Band. Actually, that's pretty good, too. We can take a look at that real fast. But attacks used by House Pokemon that this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So, excuse me. I just inhaled my spit. Okay, but yeah, Hops Choice Band, not too bad. There was something going on during pre-release where people were thinking that added 30 damage to benched damage as well, and it does not. It only does it to the active. So, yeah, just be careful about that. But all right, we're moving into our next pack. We're doing really well. This box seems to be kind of showing us some goods. You know, we've definitely hit some good cards. We've hit some, just mediocre cards as well. The full art Dunsparce EX is like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I need it for the set, but gosh, I wish I could have pulled something else. All right, we got Greedent, we've got Regice, we've got Shelgon, Black Belt's training to do 40 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX, not too bad. And we got Hops Dubwool, Hops Dubwool. There we go. All right, we'll get it one of these days. We'll get it one of these times. It just takes a couple of tries. We just had to make a few attempts at it. All right, let's move into our next pack here. Hope you guys are having fun. Like I said, make sure you're checking out the Rattle Pokemon Discord as well. That'll be in the description. There's free restock bot in the Rattle Discord, going through like Target and Walmart and Pokemon Center and Best Buy and Amazon. And there we go. We got some more grippers. The flippin' grip. Look at those things. We got Hops Snorlax. We got a Alolan Geodude and a Wailord. Hey, not too bad. It's not the illustration rare Wailord that we would like to have 70 of, but it is a Wailord. We take those. I got a friend who loves Wailord over in Germany. Shout out to the Wailord enthusiast. All right, we got ourselves N's, Zoroark, and N on this pack. Maybe they can show up in the pack. That would be kind of cool. And Zoroark seeing probably the most amount of play in post-rotation from what I've seen so far. Seems like a lot of people are really chasing that deck. They really want that deck, really want to play that deck, which it also does look pretty good. So I don't blame anyone. We got Pupitar, we got Escavalier, and Lycanroc. The hollows on these are like really popping today, like the borders and stuff like that. I could see them like only 2 cards into the pack, and it was... sometimes it makes you like, you see the border and then you're just like, ooh, shiny border, shiny border, shiny border. It's like, but no, it's just a regular hollow rare. Okay, but yeah, we're moving into our next pack here. We got another N and his Zoroark. All right, cool, not too bad. Really excited to see what comes with Pokemon Legends Z to A. We've gotten a few things with information about it in the Nintendo Direct, not Pokemon Presents, but there was a recent Nintendo Direct on Thursday that went over everything new for the Switch, and there will be a Nintendo Direct this Thursday, which is going to be everything new for the Switch 2, which is crazy, so like, it was all but like 100% confirmed by the mouth of Nintendo themselves that the Switch 2 was coming. But everyone, saw the writing on the wall, and there was all these leaks, and there was, some pretty soft launch like announcements and stuff like that. But nothing was really set in stone. We didn't have any pricing. We didn't have any available release dates or anything like that, and we still don't. But I'm hoping that this Thursday during the Nintendo Direct, we're going to get some more information about the Switch 2, which would be really cool. This Pangoro is a reverse, but it's like so hard to see it. Something about dark Pokemon and reverses is they always seem to be a little off. You know, actually, in like the X, Y, and Sun and Moon era, the dark Pokemon reverses did have some pretty cool effects to them. I'm not gonna lie. But all right, we're moving into our next pack here. We got so 3 packs remaining. This one and 2 more. I'm just gonna take this box, set it off to the side so it's out of the way. We got 2 more packs after this one. We've got Iono and Bellibolt on this one, and then the last 2 packs are both Lily and Clefairy. It's actually kind of strange. All right, got a code card for you guys there. Hopefully, you guys are getting something good from those code cards. Let me know in the comments, and let's see if we can get something good from the pack itself. We got ourselves a Cinccino. We got a Maractus, not too bad. This one has been interesting to me, too. So if this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. But the other thing that's kind of wild about this is Corner. For 1 energy, it does 20 damage, and your opponent's Pokemon can't retreat. So I don't know if anyone is really noticing this or not, but I've been looking at a lot of meta lists. I've been looking at a lot of lists in general, and it seems like there are so many people just foregoing switches in their decks. And like, how are you playing without at least 1 switch in your deck? If something like this hits you, you'd be done. It's over. You just can't retreat, and you're left sitting there. Maybe you find a Penny or a Churro scenario, but then at that point, the damage is done. You know, your opponent had a whole turn to set up, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. But we got ourselves a Toedscruel, we got a Magmar, we've got a Combuskin with the Grippers, and an Ends Reshiram to go with all those Ends Reshiram we already got. All right. Not too bad. We got 2 more packs remaining. Leave a like, subscribe, join the Rattle Discord. Check out my buddy Micknic. He opened a booster box as well. Got some pretty cool hits. You guys will love to see that. And yeah, no, just make sure you guys are having fun. That's the most important thing. It's a hobby. This is not an investment. Anybody that is running around calling Pokemon investments is delusional. You know, they're cardboard. It's cardboard with paint on them. Yes, there is the possibility of these cards appreciating in value over time. But if that's the sole purpose that you're getting into this, you might be really, really let down. Just gonna throw that out there. We got Bagon, we got Hops Bag, and another Ends Reshiram. Okay, so plenty of Ends Reshiram. Maybe that's a sign of some sort. I'm supposed to build Ends deck now. I don't know. I don't have enough Zoroark for that. But even so, maybe we pull one out of this pack. We'll see. I mean, we pulled an SIR. We pulled a special illustration rare. I'm not mad. We've got 3 other illustration rares so far from the box. So if anything, if we pulled one more right here, that would be like the perfect box. It would be very, very, very good. But I'm not expecting anything. I'm happy with what we've got here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 hits in front of us. Like I said, you can expect anywhere between 11 and 14. If we get one more right here and hit that 13 mark, that'd be super, super good. 13 seems to be the typical average. So let's go ahead and dig in. We got ourselves a Druddigon. Like I said, leave a like. We've got ourselves a Cubone, like I said, Cubone. We've got a Cubone, like I said, subscribe. And we've got ourselves a Lechonk, and Lechonk said to leave a comment down below letting us know anything Pokemon related, all the Pokemon stuff you want to talk about, anything you're interested in, your favorite card, your favorite set, your favorite game, anything Pokemon related. I want to hear it in the comments, and Lechonk does too. So don't let Lechonk down. All right, we got Ends Joltik. Ends Joltik says, make sure you check out the Rattle Discord. Tons of free restock bot action going on in there. Get a ton of information on Pokemon cards. Have a bunch of fun with a bunch of people and share like values in, the group chats and stuff like that. On Saturday, we have happy hour. On Sunday, we do some auctions. We got Ends Castle. Ends Castle looking scary. It's actually kind of scary looking. I'm not going to lie. That does look terrifying. All right, behind Ends Castle, we got Hop Sandicobra. We've got a Copperaja. The first reverse is a Postwick. Now, this is actually a pretty playable card, too, because this is for Hop's deck. So if, you have Hop's deck and an attack is used by Hop's Pokemon, it does 30 more damage to the opponent's active Pokemon. Again, it says specifically active Pokemon. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on that. And behind it, we have a Pancham reverse. So no more illustration rares, but we could get a full art or an EX or something like that. Right here, we get ourselves Iris's Fighting Spirit full art. I will actually take this. This is also actually not a bad card. So you can use this card only if you discard a card from your hand. So you have to discard a different card from your hand to use this card, but you just draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. That's pretty dang good. I mean, the only other draw supports that we see like a lot of are going to be like Professor's Research and then Hand Disruption draw supports like Iono and Judge and things like that. But Iris's Fighting Spirit, this is pretty interesting. It just allows you to discard a card to draw up to 6. You know, if you had this and one other card in your hand, you could essentially empty your hand and have a fresh new hand. That's pretty amazing. But all right, we got Iris's Fighting Spirit. Throw it up there in the pull pool. Like I said, pretty awesome box. I am actually very satisfied with this box. Very happy. The fact that we popped the Hops Zacian EX special illustration rare. I love this artwork too. This is sick. But the thing is, they made Zacian look massive. Homeboy is Dynamaxed right now. Look at him. He is Gigantamaxed right now. He's eating max soup and max mushrooms and everything. He's on the high protein diet. But all right, we got ourselves a good pull. We got a bunch of good pulls. But let me know what you guys think about Pokemon, Pokemon cards, Pokemon in general, Journey Together, Destined Rivals, anything Pokemon related in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.